WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 11.
There was another deadly plane crash in the U.S. today, this time in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's our top story at 11. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Sherry Jones. At least one person is dead and 3 others are injured as a result of that crash this afternoon.
It happened at the Scottsdale Airport, which is a smaller facility northeast of the Phoenix Airport. And it happened around 2:45 when a Learjet 35A touched down at the airport. Officials say its left main landing gear failed and it veered off the runway, crashing into a parked Gulfstream 200 business jet. There were 5 people on board the Learjet at the time of the crash. One of them was pronounced dead at the scene while 3 others were taken to a hospital. The crash is under investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board.
We have an update for you tonight on a controversial franchise fee added to the power bills of people living in East Lansing.
The city of East Lansing announced today it will stop collecting that fee and refund any payments that were collected but not yet submitted to the city.
6 News broke that story for you last week. A man in East Lansing sued the city over the fee, arguing it amounted to a tax that had not been approved by voters as required by law. The Michigan Supreme Court agreed. The city and Ingham County Circuit Court are now in the process of determining how to implement that ruling. And today officials announced the first step, which is canceling the franchise fee moving forward.
Staying in East Lansing, the city is searching for a new chief of police and wants input from the community. City Manager Robert Bellman says officials want to hear the views, desires, and perspectives of the public to help them find a police chief who will best meet the needs of East Lansing. They have launched a confidential, anonymous online survey for people to provide feedback to the executive search firm ahead of the hiring. The survey takes less than 5 minutes to complete and can be found using the link on our website, WLNS.com. Responses are due by March 3rd. President Donald Trump enacted new 25% tariffs on all foreign steel and aluminum today.
And Elon Musk is taking on the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. This is the beginning of making America rich again.
President Trump signed 2 proclamations Monday evening imposing 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports.
It's 25% without exceptions or exemptions, and that's all countries, no matter where it comes from.
The president says more tariffs will be announced in the next 2 days.
Cars is going to be a very big one and a very important one.
In the Oval Office, the president also addressed the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal, issuing this warning to Hamas after the group said the next hostage release will be delayed.
Saturday at 12 o'clock, and if they're not here, all hell is going to break out.
The White House is also facing a flurry of legal challenges that have put some of Elon Musk's plans to slash the federal government on pause. An employees union has filed suit as Musk moves forward with the plan to shutter the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Hey, ho, ho! Elon Musk has got to go!
Protesters demonstrated against the shutdown in front of the Bureau's D.C. headquarters, saying the agency helps to financially protect Americans.
Let us work!
The CFPB is the little agency that has fought for us, and we are here today to fight for the CFPB.
In a separate legal challenge, a federal judge in Boston has paused the deadline for the buyout program issued to federal employees until he issues a ruling. The White House says 65,000 federal workers have already accepted the offer. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
And staying with D.C., a federal court today granted a motion for a restraining order against a White House funding freeze requested by 23 attorneys general, including Michigan's AG, Dana Nessel. The Trump administration wanted to halt federal agency grants, loans, and financial assistance, including $3 trillion for critical state programs. The court ordered the White House to immediately attempt to withhold that money. AG Nessel issued a statement in response, calling the funding freeze, quote, unprecedented, reckless, and illegal, unquote.
And sticking with legal news, Attorney General Nessel also joined the Federal Trade Commission and other state AGs to sue Deere & Company, which manufactures John Deere farm equipment. They accuse the company of designing a system that forces farmers to depend on Deere to repair their equipment, essentially creating a monopoly. The AGs claim this artificially increases prices for farmers who have to pass on that cost to consumers in the form of higher food prices. The Michigan Farmers Union has expressed support for the lawsuit.
Speaking of promoting competition between businesses, Senator Gary Peter knows the sky is the limit and space is the place. He and a Republican colleague from Missouri just reintroduced a bill to encourage competition in the space industry. It would establish a commercial space activity advisory committee within the Office of Space Commerce. Now, that committee would provide insight into non-governmental space activity to help develop federal space policies and programs that encourage more space industry development. Senator Peters says this industry will only get more important in the years to come.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We've got a lot to talk about tonight with potentially 2 winter storms on the way. The first Wednesday and the second one's going to be as we head into the weekend, especially on Saturday. Satellite and radar tonight. Not a whole lot happening. A couple snow showers and flurries to our west, and certainly we could see a snow shower or flurry tonight or tomorrow, but it's just not going to cause any major problems. So let's look at Precision Cast and zip ahead to the Wednesday system. Through tomorrow morning, it is all quiet at 7 o'clock, other than a stray flurry. Tomorrow afternoon, that first system is well to our south. That's not the one we're watching. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, now it gets its act together in Texas, starts to swing northeast. Snow starts to break out by the early afternoon on Wednesday. Wednesday evening, Wednesday night could be heavy at times through 11 o'clock. Then this area of low pressure passes to our southeast. It'll shut off quickly by Thursday morning. That's not to say that we couldn't still have a snow shower, but we're done with significant accumulations. No changes tonight overall to what we're thinking, which is a general 4 to 8 inches of snow, and pretty much in whatever direction you go. Could we see a little bit more than that? It is possible, but at this point, this seems like the most likely outcome from this storm system. And of course, it's centered right over mid-Michigan. You head further north, you run into lesser amounts, and lesser amounts the further south and east you go. So here's kind of a statistical look at this, because I see on Facebook all the time these numbers shared, the most extreme, but probably the most unlikely. So St. John's through Jackson, 4 to 8 inches. Could we see 8, 9, 10 inches? It's possible, but statistically, it's probably a little less likely. Hillsdale, 3 to 6 inches. Could you see 7 or 8? Certainly, but odds are against that. So these numbers are possible, but this is the most likely snowfall range we will end up with. So we'll see how it pans out. And either way, 4 to 8 inches or 6 to 9, it's going to cause problems on the roadways. As we move through Wednesday afternoon, notice how the road conditions go from green to yellow to red as the snow starts to pile up. It'll be a very slow go out there by drive home time on Wednesday. And then through 11 o'clock, we're in the no-go category. Just stay home Wednesday night if you can, because there'll be a lot of snow on roads, more than MDOT can clear. It'll take until probably midday Thursday before things begin to improve. Temperatures currently upper teens and lower 20s. It's cold outside and it's dark. McLaren Cam pointed in a dark direction there. 22 the current temperature, today's high. 33 degrees, 14 was the overnight low. In Grand Ledge, we've got the bridge and the city lights in view. Current temperature in Grand Ledge at 20 degrees. Today's high was up to 30, not bad, but we started out down to 13 degrees. Speaking of cold, Jackson Cam this morning dropped down to 7. Bitterly cold start, but 32 the high. That was a really nice temperature turnaround. Finally in Hillsdale, with the clouds beginning to roll in, our current temperature, that sits at 22 degrees. For tonight, then, we'll see overnight lows near 17 degrees with skies mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, relatively quiet. Cold, though. Highs in the mid-20s. The 6-day forecast, storm system number 1, weather aware day, Wednesday into Thursday morning with a good chance of snow. Saturday into early Sunday, we do it all over again with highs in the 20s on Saturday. Teens on Sunday. Next week, low temperatures several days in the single digits with a slow, very slow warm-up as we round out next week.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're giving us time to prepare and get ready, David, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm just the messenger.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Winter says, I'm not going anywhere.
Just February, folks.
That's right. Hang on to your hats. Well, coming up on 6 News at 11, President Trump doubled down on his controversial plans for Gaza today. We'll bring you up to date next.
Stay with us. We have that and much more still to come.